welcome to the Realness Radio podcast. We back in this bad boy again
What up,
today.
what up?
So what we talking about this week?
Yo, this week we are talking about the water table rising once again.
Yeah, it's a big weather related
it's
conversation.
Very, like we're doing storm chasing.
Yeah.
We're talking rattlesnakes, all kinds of crazy
It was
shit.
good stuff. You guys stay tuned. Trust me, you're going to be entertained. This is a good one.
I'm for real. I'm for real.
Realer than real.
You're now tuned into the Realness Radio podcast.
I got you stuck off the realness.
This is Realness.
Y'all feel me? Y'all feel. Y'all definitely
Across
feel.
town and all this shit. But
What'd you guys do?
it was my dad's birthday, so we went over to my uncle's house and just kind of chilled. Had some cake and
That's
just
dope.
chilled for a little bit with the
How old
fam.
did you turn?
How old did he turn?
100.
Yeah, I think he's like 51 or something.
Dope.
Yeah.
Shout out to your dad. Happy
Oh, yeah.
birthday.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we had a chill time. Just kicked it with my uncle. I haven't seen my uncle in a while. I just realized I want to go over and watch some fights or some sports or chill because I haven't
Yeah.
chilled with the family in a long ass
Yeah,
time.
just to
you
spend
know what
that
I'm saying?
time.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's
But-
dope. I think it's a good reason to, take a week off. Families, family, man.
Yeah,
You gotta
for
be
sure.
there.
Hell yeah.
You gotta do that.
Yeah. With all the busyness and craziness in the world, sometimes you got to pause and fucking just remember the people around you and what's important and shit. You know?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, man. I hung out with my family last weekend too, which is kind of random.
Yeah.
Shout out to my cousins. They'll never hear this because I don't think they listen to the podcast. But
Yeah.
I went to O'Malley's, my old watering hole.
Mm-hmm.
Usually go over there. I go by myself, so you know what I mean. I'm just in there chilling, and I'm in there, and I turn around, and there's girls behind me, and I'm like, "Who the fuck's walking up on me? Who this little sister walking up on me like
Yeah.
this?" And usually, I don't got no sisters walking up on me like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Cuz, the hell you doing here?" She from Phoenix,
Yeah.
so that's another surprise is that what? Like you're in the wrong city and
Yeah.
you're right behind me.
And it's
randomly.
rando, you guys didn't know.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't know I was coming, and I didn't know they were there. I literally walked past them. I literally walked smooth past them.
Yeah.
Walked smooth past them because I walked in. I'm doing my thing. I'm making a beeline to the bar. I'm going to talk to my boy. I'm going to get my beverage. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna do my thing. You know what I mean? I was already on game mode.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there about to get my drink and everything, and then I turn around, and there goes my cousin. I'm like, what the hell you doing here? And then I look over, and it's my other cousin's husband. And I'm like, oh, well, nigga, if you here, this nigga got to be around here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I turn around and look at the other bartender, the other homegirl. She's serving my cousin.
Oh, tight.
And this is like my blood cousin. Like, we got the same grandma cousin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is close family. The fuck y'all doing here? It was like we was out having dinner, and so we had some drinks, and I was like, oh, funny, you was out having dinner, and y'all didn't come. It's kind of funny how that happened. That y'all having dinner up the street from my house.
Yeah.
Nobody called me. I'll let that pass. However, it's good to see y'all. So we got to hang out, man.
Oh, dope.
I
Had
hung
a
out
little
with them
reunion.
at O'Malley's, and then I took them down to Funky, and we had a good ass time.
Dope.
And it's been for me, it's been a fortnight. It's been a long time, a long time since I
yeah.
really drank or went out and did that kind of thing with
Yeah.
my cousins.
That's tight.
Almost if at all that I can really remember.
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean,
it was a moment.
if you're like me, my cousins were like my siblings almost.
Yep.
Like they were my closest,
Yep.
ones. But that's cool as shit, man.
Yeah, my older cousin, Kevin, who worked with me everywhere, is who I'm talking about, is probably my closest, cousin, because he was the closest thing to a brother that I had, you know what I mean, as at youth. So it was kind of random, whoa.
Good time though.
Well, we had a great time.
Hell yeah.
We had a great time. I at least for me, speaking for myself, and my other little cousin that I talked to, we had a great time. We was out drinking, partying, dancing, no drama.
Yeah.
I almost did kill a nigga, but I'll tell you that off mic about how that went down.
Yeah.
But that was just a little moment in time.
Yeah.
And then they didn't really know. And then we just kept it pushing.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you that story later.
All right. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
a good story. But, yeah, there was just that one little tiny moment. But other than that, I had a great time.
Well, yeah.
I had a fucking great time. This week has been quite important for Tucson, Arizona, because we have had this wonderful thing happen called rain. I don't know if all my listeners are from Tucson, Arizona, but here we are in the desert and we don't have this thing called water. And for the last few days, the good Lord, or Jehovah, Buddha, whoever you would like to converse with, has blessed us with some water. What's it been like on your side of town? You guys drowning or?
Yeah. No, we've been saturated.
Flash floods or
Yeah.
what?
I mean, east side Tucson, that's kind of where the storms roll through.
I know. I'm
mainly,
jealous.
and they kind of go up towards the mountain and stuff like that. So I've been getting it like 4 days in a row, whether it's like early in the mornings or late at night, just constant rain, and it's awesome because, like you said, I think we're on like one of our biggest droughts in a long ass time.
Like in 10,000 years or something?
Honestly, I think I don't remember monsoons like this one for at least a good 10 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I
It's been
think
a
we
while.
might have had the retail wash and the Santa Cruz fill up maybe like 5-6 years ago, but nothing like this, and nothing like as a kid I remember like
Right.
2 days straight of just nonstop rain.
Nonstop rain.
Yeah.
Like there's no break
No
in the
letting up.
rain,
Yeah.
no letting up.
Yeah.
And like your electricity can go out.
Yep.
And honestly, like that was crazy as a kid, but that was also fun to me.
Oh yeah.
Like it was almost like a little adventure, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like the electricity went off. We got to set all these candles up
Yep.
and get all these lights.
Yep.
And me and my mom my mom was smart. She went out and bought these battery powered like TV/radio devices.
Mhm.
So we could just, we turn that little thing on and we had a little bunny ear radio or
Yep.
bunny ear TV.
Yep.
It was black and white, but it worked.
Oh hell
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And we'd be sitting there just watching the regular TGI Friday
Yeah.
or whatever little channels you can get on
Yeah.
at the time when the storm was out. But it was fun. You can go outside to a little friend's house and be like, is the storm out over there too?
Yep.
And they're like, yeah. And it's like, everybody's electricity out. It's really a problem. But you're kind of having
Yeah.
fun because.
You don't realize it, but like giant trees have knocked down power lines.
Oh, yes.
And people's cars have been crushed, and
Yeah.
saguaros are falling over. And
Or
shit
somebody
like that.
skidded into a power line, and
Yeah.
the paramedics are getting the jaws of life to get them out.
Yeah.
But you're at your house like, it's dark. Yeah, this is fine.
And the reason why we have the stupid motorist law here is, motherfuckers just be driving through washes. There's been some very unfortunate stories actually over the last week too.
We in Arizona are actually at an all-time high of that right now. They just put out, I want to say it was either City of Tucson or TP or somebody had just put out on Twitter yesterday that they're at an all-time high right now of flood calls and just basically stupid motorist calls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with that being said, I actually have a good story
Okay.
from right here in the house.
Yeah.
So last time you left, it was a good rain. I want to say that was the week before last.
Yeah.
And
It was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday,
Yeah.
so you had left.
I think
you
it was during the
took off.
Conor McGregor fights.
Yeah, so I'm chilling. Okay, this wasn't on a Saturday because I was here all night. So this had to be like the next day. I'm chilling. It's pouring. It's going down. My streets over here, because I live in an older neighborhood, they all flood. They weren't prepared for this kind of rainfall, 50, 60 years ago. They wouldn't have known. So the streets aren't prepared for that kind of water flow. So
There's no drainage.
There's no drainage. The streets just flood.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The streets just fucking flood. So I'm standing there, and usually people every fucking year try to go through the intersection.
Yeah.
And somebody gets stuck.
Yep.
Every fucking year. And they know it's like enough water where you like can visibly be like, maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
And still, they risk it every year. Well, this year, I'm standing out there at the door. My neighbor's outside watching, and we're both like, oh, it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
There's a small river going through the hood.
There is a Rito River happening right now. Trash cans are gone.
Yeah.
Shit is floating. It is almost coming up to the door. It's flooding.
Yeah.
Like it's a heavier one. guess who decides they're gonna try to make it through the water? Some random guy and his friend.
Yeah.
Now, this is at nighttime, so obviously, it's dark, so they can see the light, which means my door is open, so they can see that I'm standing in the doorway,
Yeah.
right? And they're going through, and as I start getting to the door to, like, just go check out, like, who's being a dumbass now?
Yeah.
I can see them coming, and I'm black. It's nighttime, so they can't really see me, but I'm trying to give them, like, I'm waving my arms like, back up. Don't go any further, bro.
Yeah.
It's too deep. Back up.
This intersection right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Like right where you're parked.
Mm.
A foot, 3 feet in the middle of the street. Literally right there.
Yeah.
Car stops. And I'm like, back up. He's like, we're flooded, dude. Can't. I'm like, do you need me to call 911? Yes.
Oh, wow. So the car just stopped.
Stalled, dude.
Like it stalled?
Stalled. It was too deep.
Yeah, dude. You can't
St-
fuck
stalled
around
out.
like that, bro.
So I had to call 911. I had to call 911, dude. I haven't had to call 911 in fucking years, dude. And I had to call 911 and be like, hey, and they're like, what's the address for your emergency? And I'm like, well, it's not really my address. There are some people stuck in the middle of the street. And she was
Yeah.
like, what? And I was like, their car stopped in the flood. She was like, oh, okay. And I told her the address. And the cops came pretty quick because
Yeah.
this whole area is flooding. So, of course, they're already in the area.
They're just in the mode, yeah.
They're in the area because
Yeah.
a bunch of people in this area are already getting stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of peeked back in the house because I wasn't finna be – it was like a Sunday or something because I had to go to work.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to be out there talking to them and, like, entertaining them while the cops come and help them because I
Right.
don't know you people.
Right.
You just some passerbys. And I'm tired. I got to go to bed. So I kind of, like, come back inside. I watch them to make sure the cops pull up at least. You know what I mean? The cops pull up. And I could just hear the fireman's like, hey, guys. And he's like, yeah, I tried it. It got stuck, And the dude is just like, well, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sit right there, and hopefully the water will go down. And then you can try to restart your car. But we're having a million of these calls right now, so we've got to go.
Yeah.
And they just drove off.
Well, yeah.
The fire truck was just like, all right, good to see ya. And other people are stuck.
That's
so
probably to their benefit because just calling that goddamn fire engine and them cops to go help you out, and if they were to like sit there and help you pull you out or something, that's a giant bill you are getting.
Oh, you're gonna get that bill.
Yeah, your best bet is to wait it out.
You're gonna get that bill. Oh,
yeah.
They pushed it out of the middle of the street up the corner, so up a grade.
Yeah.
They managed to push it up a bit of a grade and let it dry out. I was like, you're two strong-ass dudes, dude. You pushed that thing in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, the water was kind of flowing in that direction, so, I mean, it was probably a little easier. But to turn it up and go up that little bit of a grade.
It's funny, too, huh? Because, like, people are, like, people are, for the most part, pretty capable. They probably could have just relaxed and just calmed down and be like, all right, like, let's just chill. And instead of, like, doing all the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, calling the cops and all that. But, yeah, and ended up having to do it anyway. So
they ended up in the same situation, in the same place. But I was like, hey, I guess I'll call for you guys. Like, sorry.
Dude, I remember as a kid, I was with my dad, and he lives on the south side, and we were going down, like, old Nogales Highway in Valencia.
Dude, I got one for that one.
And, yeah, there's, like, a big dip at one point, and that thing was, like, super flooded. But at nighttime, it's even hard to see those kind of things until you're right up on them. And if you're going like 45, 50 down like kind of a highway road, like you're not stopping. And that's exactly what happened to us. Like we slammed on the brakes, screeched, and plowed into this puddle of water. And the water was immediately over the hood. And luckily, like, I can't remember who I was with. I think it was like my dad's girlfriend or something like that, but she ended up just gunning it and we made it through. But it was like a jarring moment where it was like, what the fuck? So some of these are like not stupid motorists. It's just like that's the situation you get brought into.
It's definitely situational.
But I think those are more rare than the actual people who are just trying to get through because they don't want to be inconvenienced by a 10, 15, 20-minute wait.
For
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? Like,
if you've been
going around.
Right. If you've been in Tucson long enough, you'll kind of know the areas, you know what I mean, that tend to get a little more flooded.
Yep.
It's probably because we have a lot of people that are U of A students, DM people who are snowbirds, just people who are not here year-round and not from here.
Yep.
They end up driving and not knowing, those kind of areas that they're going to get trapped in, or not knowing that they should really pay attention to the flood advisories.
They can't even see anyway.
Yeah.
They're like, I shouldn't even be driving at night, and it's
Yeah.
pouring rain so hard. Like the windshield wipers aren't even helping.
If you're from a place where, like, you're, like, from Seattle, and you're like, well, it's raining all the time. I know how to do this. But it's like, yeah, but we're a little more hilly and dippy in certain places here.
And this is a monsoon.
Yeah, so
This
you're
is
going
not
to
necessarily just a Seattle rain.
It's not a
you know what I'm
rain.
saying?
You're getting a flash flood of rain. You're getting 3 or 4 inches.
The sky is pouring a river on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's some places where the pockets are just deep.
Mhm.
I was down on Nogales Highways because my mom worked at Raytheon. You know, she worked down there, and I went to Hughes. I went to the bank right there, and I was driving back towards Valencia, and we're from like Raytheon up that distance up, so it's not too further back. Where like those dips are more they filled them in. They ended up filling them in, but
they're closer to like where you get into like the pecan fields.
exactly.
Or,
Yeah,
like, where,
they're back there. I think they filled a couple of them in the last time I was back there, but I wasn't so far back that it was like, oh.
Yeah.
But like, we were kind of. I was coming out of the bank and I was going down, and I mean, for people who don't know, I drive a truck, and all the trucks were driving in the center merging lane because the 3 of the right-hand traffic lanes were so flooded that our trucks would be floating.
Yeah.
Like the trucks, so much less a fucking Honda or something, you're definitely screwed.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this is crazy, in my fucking truck.
Yeah.
And we were all driving in the middle of that little fucking lane, and then the rest of the traffic was butted up right next to us because the both edges.
Yeah, and I know what you mean. A lot of our roads are like that. They peak in the middle lane.
Yeah, and the edges were all flooded out. So everyone's right there in what would be the merging lane that nobody's ever supposed to drive in.
Yeah.
We're all just cruising that shit because us in the trucks were like, whoa, like we can't go towards the edge. If you had to pull over to the right side, you're done.
Yeah.
You're stuck there until somebody literally comes to get you out, even if you're in a truck.
Yeah, dude.
Like I was. Fucked. So that rain over there is no fucking joke. I've almost bottomed out in Midvale, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Because in Midvale, again, an older neighborhood, they didn't really prepare for it, and I used to drive my Honda. And there's a couple spots in there where it's just the ground's just a little bit lower.
Yep.
And because you never notice when you're driving, but until there's water, I was like, like it was it was a difficult one over there. So there's those spots. We definitely have that where it's like, if it's raining here in Tucson, and in the outlying areas, you need to be a little more cautious, and not cautious in the point to where like Tucsonans do the opposite thing where we just drive really slow. We call that cautiousness, where it's like, no, that's not being cautious. You're just slowing up traffic. Just like be aware of the areas you should be driving and not. Like you probably shouldn't be trying to go under the bridge downtown during a fucking
definitely
rain.
not. Definitely not. We've seen that. We've all seen that be up to the bridge
Up
in
to
water.
the actual top of the fucking bridge. When we were at the dispensary a year or 2 years ago, I think it was like a year or 2 years ago when that
remember
big
that
flood.
Yeah.
And the bridge was legitimately underwater more than I've ever seen it in my life, where it was like touching the top of the bridge, where it was like you'd have to scuba dive to go to the other side. You know what I mean? And people were still got their car stuck in that for some reason. They were like, I think my car can go underwater. It's not a big deal,
you
right?
could probably just float.
I can like
bubble right through.
Yeah, like we could just George
like Miss Frizzle's magic school bus.
We could just George Jetson our way through this thing. And just people are just crazy with that shit.
I'm a pretty aggressive driver, and
I'm an aggressive driver.
And I've gone through some monsoons in my old 78 truck with no windshield wiper. Like I survived like 5 or 6 monsoons with no windshield wipers. You know what I'm saying? Like driving like Jim Carrey with my head out the window, like like stopping and wiping my shit off and then going again.
That's some real gangster shit.
No, like for real,
That's some
like
real gangster shit.
Like I've gone through a lot. So for me, even when it gets kind of crazy, I'm pretty cool with it. Like I'll still be flying down the road. Like the other night, I was on Aviation, and there was multiple cars just off to the side with hazard lights on, and I'm like, I ain't staying here, dog. Like,
I'm not staying. I'm gone.
Yeah, like as long as I don't hit the wall, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'll actually plane right here in the middle a little bit, but I'm good. I'm smashing. I'm out.
I'm smashing, dude. So
I take Aviation every day.
Yeah,
and it's like since it be raining, I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm out. Like
Yeah.
I'm going, bro. I don't know about y'all, but
Mhm.
ain't nothing gonna stop me right
Yeah,
now.
I don't
It
play.
it better be a torrential downpour because
Yeah.
I'm not stopping.
Like if I'm gonna stop, it's because I can't see 2 feet in front of my vehicle.
That's the only way I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, you know
And
what I'm
that's
saying.
me and my
And even then, I've kept pushing.
me and my brother were coming from my other brother's our little nephew's birthday party, right?
Yeah.
Every year on his birthday, on my brother Cameron's son, his oldest, every year, it always rains on his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
One year, I went with my brother Duck up to the house on the north side, right? And me and Duck are like, all right, birthday party's over. I'm gonna take him back to his crib and then head back to my crib, and we're on the freeway. I'm talking about it was raining so hard. It was raining sideways, and it was almost zero visibility.
Big old
bro.
fat rain.
Just, I mean, bro,
Sideways rain.
Sideways rain.
Rain that come right up from under you.
The rain come upside down rain.
Upside down rain.
Sideways rain. Circle rain. Ice cube rain.
Hey, Bubba.
Hey, Bubba, have you ever seen? Like, it was.
Yeah.
It was like to the point where most of us were on the fucking freeway,
Yeah.
like slowing down and they're pulled over because you could not see anything. And then we got to a point where we can stop under where the 10 meets the 19 and
Mhm.
it does that like sectioning
Yeah, yeah.
to go over to continue on the 19.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to just stopped under one of those bridges. The one that goes over to loop you onto the 19.
Right, right.
Or from the 19 to loop you over to the 10.
So if you're coming north if you're going north on the 10, or north
so-
on the 19 to kind of loop back
So
around.
We're coming down from the north
Or
side.
no, it's
so
on
we're
12th.
we're going passing 22nd and we're going left to stay on the 10 to
Yeah.
avoid the 19, right?
Yes.
And then there's that overpass from the 19 that puts you onto the 10 going south, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we had just parked. Everybody just was right under that underpass, where like our cars weren't being hit with like that hella rain.
Yeah.
and you can actually see a little bit. We had to literally stop on the freeway. The
Yeah.
freeway was at a dead stop.
That's crazy.
It was so much rain. I couldn't see probably a car lane, not less than a car lane visibility in front of me,
Mhm.
and we were going on the freeway, so we were going like 70.
Mm-hmm.
To a cold slowdown when that rain cloud, because it's like that rain cloud was just sitting over it,
Mm-hmm.
just sitting over the freeway, and that shit was crazy.
Yeah,
That shit was
absolutely.
super crazy. It was the only time where I was like, well, we probably want to stop.
Yeah.
Like, we probably want to get the fuck out the way. This is a little too much.
Yeah. The craziest one I can remember in recent memory was, I don't know if you remember, but last year or maybe even 2 years ago now, I took my kids to Ohio.
Yes.
And I did like a 36-hour road
I
trip,
do remember
like
when you did that.
nonstop, and then came back like the day after we got there.
Yeah.
But on the way back, me and the lady were driving through Texas,
Mhm.
and straight up like phones start buzzing, like
Yeah, the
tornado.
alerts.
But it was a tornado warning,
Really?
and it was really crazy. Like it was really dark. I'm driving like super slow because I am kind of scared at this
Yeah,
point,
fuck it.
and like Crystal's tripping because she's just like freaking out, and it's saying there's a tornado in our area. She's like looking at it on the map,
Yeah.
and semis flying, dude,
Yeah, I hate
just
that shit.
ripping, dude. And I'm just like, how are these fools doing that? Like they don't give a fuck. And there's this one
That rock
stop.
that you get when they fucking pass you.
Oh, dude, yeah. And there's this one stopping area, rest area in Texas, and it has a big old star. It's like a big building, and
Yeah,
we're like, I know we're close to that. We'll stop there. So we keep pushing, but it's pitch black. There's no like road lights or
Yeah,
there's
nothing.
no like side or anything, and you just see lightning flashing.
Yeah.
And you see a tornado like touch down in the distance as the light flashes.
Really? That's
Yeah,
dope.
and we were that close. We were probably within 10 miles of it, but it was off in the distance. You know what
Really?
I'm saying? And we were tripping, but we all pulled off. Everybody stopped at this little rest stop right there. And yeah, like people were like laying there with their kids like for a couple hours, you know, like until we got there, and it took about 45 minutes for it to pass.
That's crazy.
But it was kind of trippy, like it was scary as fuck. But like these semi drivers, they don't give a shit, dog. Like,
they're
they
used to
mash.
be. They're used to being in that traffic, and I think they
Mhm.
have, in some instances, a better understanding of like, hey, I need to get I need to get a certain distance away or like whatever.
Yeah.
Versus you and me, where we would be more cautious because we're not on the highway all the time and running through.
It's probably more dangerous for them to like be cautious and drive at a slower rate because it's harder to speed up and it's harder to like just maneuver.
I bet that's probably part of the thing where it's probably.
But it was almost like you couldn't see the road lines. But again, that's a good point too. They're higher up.
So
up. They're probably looking down at lines, whereas like you're more level with the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. And then they have equipment and shit in there too that is also like navigation equipment that also helps. If, if you have one of those really dope decked out things, you know what I mean? You're damn near flying in a fucking helicopter down the road where it's kind of giving you some awareness of some of the things. But like, bro,
it was super
never
crazy,
in my life have I would have been tripped out. I've never seen.
Oh, dude, and I was listening to like a podcast about Bob Lazar about aliens and shit, and like it was just late night. We're driving like sleep deprived. It was just crazy. It was
listening to Bob Lazar talk about aliens while there's a fucking tornado. That's
it was
that's enough to trip your brain out.
It was very trippy because I remember like the lady was sleeping, you know, and I was just kind of like trying to keep myself entertained and driving, and then she woke up after that alert, and it was on after that. It turned the night around. It was kind of fun though. But like looking back on it, it was hella fun. Like,
because
it was
I love stuff like that because it's an adventure, bro. You guys were just on an adventure. You were literally just like
dude,
on an adventure. You know what I mean? It's you and her. You're like, oh shit, there's a tornado. Like, what do we do? It's an adventure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's
fun.
That's what makes it fun. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of that scare, a little bit of that frighteningness,
a little bit of a butt pucker. You know what I'm saying?
Just a little bit of the butt pucker. Just a tad.
Just a tad.
Little Jeff's kiss of the butt.
Little Jeff's kiss.
Little Jeff's kiss of the butt pucker. It's a little. You know that's what makes it fun because you kind of remember that like, oh shit, like adrenaline.
Yeah.
Oh wow, like this is about to be real. Like,
yep.
My only experience that I've ever had that was close to that was about 5, maybe 6 years ago. My brother and a couple of us and my best friends, Chris and Mary, because he's a tattoo artist, we were on our way with his now ex-wife and one of our other friends to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And that was like a 14-hour drive that took us 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because in our first stretch, we got to about Demi, New Mexico, and there was one of those straight haboobs. And they're like the ones we see on the news.
Oh, yeah, we get them all the time, like especially in Phoenix.
A wall of fucking sand.
Like the mummy.
Like the mummy.
Yeah.
Like literally the mummy.
Yeah.
There's a wall of fucking sand. It looks like the apocalypse is happening. It's coming. It's encroaching close to you. And there's like nothing you can do.
Those terrify me actually. More than rain actually.
It was terrifying because I'm driving. I typically drive most road trips. I like to drive.
Yeah, so do I.
And like I'm driving and you're starting like I can see at first I wasn't really bothered by it. You know what I mean? But you started to get it lower and lower and lower visibility. And it's not like rain. This is just straight sand.
Yes.
So like the sand reflecting off the light almost makes it like a wall. You know what I mean? Where like something blows in front of you, could be a semi right there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you don't know. Could be a semi behind me. He don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like the state troopers forced us to go off the road because it was too unsafe.
Yes.
So everyone had to pull into the city. We were stuck at Silver City or Demi, New Mexico for like 3 hours or so.
See, that's the part that scares me the most is pulling off to the side and somebody like driving into you.
That's what
you know what I'm saying. Those are like, or you driving into somebody. But like, I hate being a sitting duck on the side of the road because
that makes me feel
you just never know like what's coming up. You know,
we so in our luck, if we were outside of the city, we would have had to just pull off to the side like that.
Yeah.
But luckily we were.
Oh, you're kind of
we were in city limits.
Oh yeah, Demings,
so we just pulled. It's a
little
small,
town.
little one-horse town kind of thing where it's one long strip.
Yeah.
So we essentially just pulled into the town.
Yep.
But everyone was in the Walmart parking lot because it's like the biggest thing they got.
Right.
So everyone's just sitting in the Walmart parking lot. All these cars that you were like, hey, we were on the road together, traveling. You know what I mean? And it's just like everybody's sitting right there.
Huh? You know?
Crazy weather, huh, guys? What about that, huh?
Yeah.
Get your Jerry
I'm from
Seinfeld
Tucson.
going
Where are
on.
you from?
Yeah, get your Jerry Seinfeld on. It was like, how about that, huh, guys?
Those green chilies, huh?
Yeah. What about those New Mexico hatch green chilies, huh? What about that?
Oh.
Are we close to the thing? Is this the thing around
Is
here?
the thing around here, dude?
Is the thing
Dude, have
around
you ever
here?
stopped at the thing?
Yeah, I stopped at the thing a couple
Oh
times.
man, I've never done the thing.
It's nothing.
I heard it's like a two-headed baby or something.
Yeah, it's like something stupid.
like a little
I
mummified.
forgot. It's like a
something.
mummified something.
Yeah.
We stopped. It could have been on that trip before that or
Yeah.
somewhere around that
Oh
time.
man, I've always wanted to stop at the thing.
I mean, you got to.
That's like
Just because it's like I'm tired of seeing these big ass signs that
Yeah.
say the thing,
yeah,
and then we're going to fucking. We might as well go fucking figure out what the thing is.
yeah.
And then I remember on the way back, dude, we were with a bunch of our other friends who were at the tattoo convention. And they're like, let's go eat. So we go into Deming, New Mexico again,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then we're going to some fucking random-ass restaurant
Yeah.
that's like, say you're in Tucson, and I was like, yeah, we're going to go to this restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's in 3 Points. It's like
Okay.
we were
Yeah,
driving
yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, and then there's a steakhouse.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the
With
fuck?
like a grocery store attached
No,
to it.
not even that. It was just like it looked like it was supposed to be that way, like an
Yeah.
old timey, like
Yeah.
used to be a gas station kind of thing,
Antique shop.
antique shop thing. We took some pictures and shit.
Yeah.
It was more creepy than I was more like I feel like we're gonna
Yeah.
get murdered.
Yeah,
out
this
here.
is how horror movies
This
start.
is exactly how The
Yeah.
Hills Have Eyes got started, and I remember that movie, and I don't want to be in it.
Hell no.
Like I'm not for that.
Mm-mm.
But I remember we ate over there, and I was just like, I don't really want to eat off the beaten path
Yeah.
in Deming, New Mexico,
Nah,
okay?
hell nah.
Off the beaten path in a small city doesn't sound good. I'm like, they have a Denny's right there, right? We
Yeah.
could just eat there.
Yeah.
And they're like, regular people, we're next to the freeway.
Yeah.
It's like we're not.
Like they have Salisbury steak over there.
I'm just saying, they got it. We can still get a steak, okay? We can get some ribs. We can get whatever
Yeah.
over here in town.
Yeah.
We don't have to go to this dude's house
Yeah.
to eat their fucking food, whatever it is. But yeah, dude, those fucking that storm was one of the craziest things I had ever seen because we're in a basin, and we're in a tighter basin than the valley is, even
For
though
sure.
they're
Yeah.
the valley and we're still the valley as well. But they're a little more of a spaced out basin, so they get those storms that come through
Yes.
more often than we do. So we haven't really had to have we get a storm or two, but it's not like, oh, it just blinked out of Tucson right quick.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That was one of them where I was just like, this is blocking out all my existence. I literally only see this in movies about like the Arabian Nights or some Egyptian shit or like watching Aladdin and it's like a dust storm and like, do you know what I mean? You don't see those here. And we're just in the middle of that shit.
I think personally, I still have never seen like a legit like haboob like that. I've been through a dust storm on the way to Phoenix, but I haven't seen one like roll in and not in the way that you see them like photographed, from the sky and shit like that. I've never seen like some crazy shit like that.
That was literally my only experience and only time besides seeing the pictures and videos from when it was coming through Phoenix and having some friends over that were up there, sending me shit. But it was my only time in real life to really see the majesty of like, a real big storm event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we get rainfalls and we get stuff like that, but to see just like straight cloud cover a city or a storm cover an entire, where it's like, New Mexico, it's open land. So you can see for hundreds of miles because there's rarely any mountains. There's really any mountains.
Any
Yeah, I'm retarded. Sorry. There's rarely any mountains or any topography that you can really see. Like Arizona's really mountainy and hilly. We have stuff.
Yeah.
Where New Mexico's just it's flat and dry.
Well, like you said, we are like a basin. I guess we're a basin, but like we're surrounded by mountains on all sides.
And that's what
pretty much
essentially makes us a basin.
Yeah,
is
like
that
we're a big drainage pit.
exactly.
basically, yeah.
We're essentially like essentially like a pie crust. We're crusted around by mountains. We literally have mountains on all four sides. So that's what really takes us away from having major national weather shit because we are in a basin. So anytime the clouds, the air can't build up enough momentum and enough pressure in the basin to create a tornado, like legitimately. We'll have a couple where they'll form in the sky where that pressure's at, and then it'll start to build up. It'll almost look like it's going to come down and it'll dissipate.
Right.
It can't get all the way down.
Yeah.
We rarely see those events where we have an actual tornado.
Mm-hmm.
You and I are both 35 years old, and we've never seen like a real one touchdown. You know what I mean?
Like
But-
other than that storm, I seen it in the distance, and it was small. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But you could tell there was something there.
Yeah.
And I've never seen one touchdown, but like,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to
dude,
be
I'm-
a fucking storm chaser.
Me too,
bro.
dude. Me too.
I've always wanted to be
My-
like Twister, bro.
my
like
homeboy,
that
shout
was my
out,
shit.
shout out to my nigga MGM, bro.
Mhm.
I don't know if you listening to this shit or not, but me and that dude have been talking about for fucking years that we wanted to go storm chasing. It's the
Yeah.
most.
Go to fucking
It's the
Tornado Alley and just check
Exactly,
some
bro.
shit out, dude. That's a good ass idea.
It's
dude.
probably the most reckless, dumb idea I've ever let come out of my mouth. But for some reason,
it's
okay,
somewhat controllable.
I'm gonna say this, and it's stupid that I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump out on a limb.
Yeah.
I have not built up a good irrational fear for tornadoes.
Me neither.
It does not. I'm more intrigued, and I more want to be there to see it,
Yeah.
and intrigued more than I am fearful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Well, it
definitely-
draws you. You're drawn to
definitely-
it.
Yeah, I definitely like. Yeah, let's just get in a fucking slightly reinforced vehicle
Mm-hmm.
and go fucking check this shit out.
Yeah.
You want to open up the back and we'll let the little fucking things
Yeah.
fly out and
Yeah.
we'll connect. We'll get the information. I seen the movie,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
I seen the movie. I know how to do that shit.
Yeah. Dude, how
Twister wasn't-
ridiculous
Twister
is
wasn't-
Twister? Have
Twister
you
was
seen
my
it
movie.
recently?
It's ridiculous.
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous.
It's
It was
completely ridiculous
badass
movie.
as a kid, but
As a kid, it was an amazing movie.
Yeah.
But in real life, you're like, oh, all these people would be murdered.
yeah,
Like, no way.
Yeah.
That you're just chilling in the middle of that tornado, like running around.
Yeah.
But a few seconds ago, it picked up a semi.
yeah, and
But
they're
you're
just
walking.
They're just chained to a water pipe in,
Yeah.
in the eye of the storm.
Yeah, you're walking and chilling, but there's semis and cows and
Yeah.
houses flying around you.
And
But
there's splinters and wood
Yeah.
and
But-
doors and
but you're fine.
rebar, but yeah, you're just not getting shredded up in this
nothing.
tornado. Yeah.
Nothing's hit you. No rocks,
yeah.
no debris,
Yeah.
no trash because we're awful humans.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All this flying stuff. Nothing. Okay, cool.
Dude, we got to do this, bro. Like, I'm so down. Like, let's go to the fucking Tornado Alley one day. And
Let's go. Fuck that
We're going to
shit
go
up, dude.
trip on the Aztec pyramids, and we're going to go watch
Dude,
tornadoes.
I'm definitely
Bucket
down.
list, bro. We're
I'm
building a
definitely-
bucket list
I'm
already,
definitely
dude.
Already on board with both of those, bro. If I'm gonna take drugs, bro, and you're gonna get me to finally take any of those,
Yeah.
it's gonna be on the Aztec temples. Where I'm gonna be like, this
Yeah.
is great.
This is
I'm like, dog, do you think you should sacrifice me right now? You're like, you're gonna die. I'm like, I know, bro.
I know.
Do you think you should sacrifice me right now?
Yeah.
Roll my head down this thing. See how it works.
Yeah, I'm going to record it.
yeah. You can record this, man.
Let me
We'll
set this up real quick.
We'll watch it next week. You're like, you're gonna be dead.
Do you have a knife?
do you have a pocket knife? I think you should. I think you should sacrifice me on this altar. I think we should not give you drugs anymore, Rashad.
Yeah. Did you bring a rain jacket? It's probably going to rain after this.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do the rain dance. Do you know the steps? Not familiar. Oh man, but it's like, yeah, that's on the bucket list, dude. Seeing and getting involved intimately with the tornado, for some reasons, on the bucket list.
Bro, I've always wanted to do that.
I
I just love weather.
Right. I think it's
You know
such
what I'm
an
saying?
interesting phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
Like just the point of like weather itself and
Yeah.
like the fact that we could have a gust of wind or the barometric pressure could drop so fast and so quickly that it automatically creates these fucking funnels and boom, 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 boom.
I
boom.
wonder if it's because we are Tucsonans and we are Arizonans that we don't get a lot of exposure to like cold and sleet and rain and snow
It
and all
probably
these
is.
things that when we do get it, we're so like enamored by it. Like I am personally,
Yeah.
but like I was just reading a book last night and they're talking about, they live maybe in New York somewhere and they're in a coffee shop back in like early 1900s and every time the door opens and he describes the weather as horrible. It's atrocious outside. Every time the door opens, the wind brings in this chill and it's like, but like to me that sounds awesome. You know what I'm saying?
'Cause
Like
we don't know that.
Like I enjoy that nastiness of weather, like that boding like dark cloud that's coming in. You know
Oh,
what
I
I'm saying?
love
With
that.
the lightning
I
and
love
the
that.
scary thunder.
can't
Like
wait.
I want it to be ferocious.
yeah,
Like,
I want it to be.
Yeah.
I want it to be.
And I don't know if that's just us being Tucsonans or if that's
I
just
think
me
it is.
personally or you personally that like we just like that intense shit.
I think it's a two-part. I think it is
Yeah.
partly that we just like that kind of type of shit, but I also think it is in part to the environment that we grew up in, right? So we're in a desert. It's a barren, by definition, it's a barren place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we don't have a lot of the seasons.
Yeah.
So when we grew up and you're learning about, autumn and spring and winter and summer, we have summer.
Yeah.
And then we have a
Like-
slightly less summer and then summer.
Yeah.
So we don't, you know what I mean? We don't have anything but hot.
Yeah.
So
I just don't like
imagine-
being thirsty.
Right.
You know?
But imagine being like from Boston, like Burr. You know what I mean? Imagine being there where like
Shoveling your car out of snow.
Shoving your car out
all
of
the
snow, but
time.
every year you get to see a true fall. The leaves falling, the colors changing.
Yeah.
Everything's really those fall colors. And then in the spring, everything's really coming up and popping to life. We don't really get a lot. We don't get dramatic ones.
And if we're lucky, we get cold.
Yeah, and
You
we're
know what
lucky
I'm
we
saying?
get colds. And the reason why we think like I'm such a bitch with coldness is because we've never been anywhere where it was truly cold. But also our cold is different.
Yeah.
Because it's a barren wasteland. So when it's fucking
It's
cold,
frigid.
it's cold. There's nothing to hold back or stop the coldness. It's just cold.
It's a piercing cold. Like I remember it being at my grandma's house down south,
Yeah.
and when it gets like down below the 30s, but there's no like precipitation or anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's a like piercing, frigid
Yeah.
cold that goes right through your
Right
jacket.
into your bone.
Yeah,
Right into your
like
bone.
it doesn't matter how many sweaters you have on.
Does not matter. Out by, where my mom and where I grew up at, you know what I mean? Out by the casinos area where it's like less buildings, less downtown.
Yeah.
It's a little more opened area. You can feel a temperature drop. You know what I mean? Even if we rolled over there right now at nighttime, you can feel,
just a few degrees cooler.
It's just a few
Yeah.
degrees cooler. It's just a temperature difference. You just notice it. You know what I mean? And when it's cold, it's cold. There's nothing, there's nothing to hold that back. It's just going to breeze right on through you.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing about Arizona, Tucson to be specific since we're here. But that's the weird thing about, Arizona is that it could be really hot, really, sweaty. You're going to die hot. And then all of a sudden in the middle of the night, it can get down to like really cold where your body would be.
Oh yeah, the
freaking out.
fluctuation of temperature.
It's dramatic.
Especially in the spring and the fall.
Yeah.
You could be at a 90, 100-degree day, and in the nighttime you could be around 40, 30.
30s.
Yeah, and like that's a 60-degree temperature swing. That could fuck you up.
That really could. It starts to really play havoc with your immune system.
Especially if you're trapped out there. Like if you're lost.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, my dad's got some stories about being lost hunting, and like it is not fun, dog.
Well, see, that's the thing that it's like, man, when you're just kind of out there in the middle of the elements, it's a lot different, right? We I not take for granted, but we think because we think we have these structures and we have the safety, and you know what I mean. We're like, man, the weather's quite interesting, or whatever. Where these fools who settled this land, and lived here natively.
Yeah.
You fools are badasses. You barely had covered wagons, which would have been made out of cow, horse, or bull hide, which would have only kept you so warm. Still with these flash floods.
Yes.
Hot as fuck during the day. So you have to be less
Humid.
clothed. Humid and hot during the day, so you have to be less clothed. But then it gets down into the 40s at night, so you have to bundle up. That dramatic. And they're not living in structures like
This
we
thought
are.
that you're talking about right now, I've been thinking about over the last 2 days. No lie. Like, imagine the settlers, like just like you're saying, like
They're badass, dude.
the
Some
people
badass
were
people.
here when we didn't have nobody had AC,
Nothing.
nobody had ice, nobody had water coming out of their refrigerator for
Nothing.
them to drink. Like, no, they're living out on land, and they're fucking going through multiple days of drenching downpours. Maybe they're in like a little wash area, and they just have no idea it's raining in the mountains, and all of a sudden their shit's just flooded out. Like,
Boom.
so many different scenarios of like people back in the day that all the tribulations that they went through. Such like hard people, like crazy.
Oh, the crazy hard people.
Yeah.
They're the toughest of the toughest.
Yeah.
To be this environment, we take it for granted because we have, the convenience of modernness, shall we say. But, be out there for this summer where it was those 113s and then it's cold as fuck at nighttime, but it's still that 113 as soon as you get up, and you just got to be out there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to be out there. It's not like there's a whole lot of trees to shade you. You know what I mean? You're out there.
Yeah, you're just huddling under a bush for some shade.
Yeah, at best. And then that's you and
In
the
certain
rattlesnakes.
areas. For
That's
sure.
you and the rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
you have to be prepared for those things.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing about Arizona is that everything out here is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just chill under a tree like you would in, like, Georgia or something. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, you can't just chill. Like, there's a good chance
Yeah.
there's, like, a rattlesnake, a fucking Gila monster, a fucking...
You hear that, Gila monsters?
You hear them Gila monsters? I mean, a tarantula.
Yeah.
I mean, just too many things.
Big ass pit bull rattlesnakes. Oh my god, them things are scary.
Dude, I was watching this dude yesterday who's like a snake breeder dude who was going to visit another dude who's in Florida, and he put these two, like, Western Diamondback and another strain of fucking rattlesnake together, and I was like, Jesus Christ, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
It was massive. It was the biggest rattlesnake I had ever seen, and I'm just watching this shit on a
Was
video.
it like a green Mojave?
No, dude. He bred two different species together, and it's a beautiful.
Oh, he made a hybrid
He made
rattlesnake?
a fucking hybrid rattlesnake from two different rattlesnake species.
Dude, this guy's crazy.
And it turned out to be like this thick around, bro.
Fuck that, dude.
Like this thick around, and it
Yeah.
was huge, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he was free handling it, so it was a little bit more tempered. You know what I mean?
He was just handling
I
the
will
rattlesnake?
show you the video, dude.
Okay,
He's
yeah,
just-
we got to watch this,
He's free
bro.
handling it, but it's a massive fucking rattlesnake. I was like, we better not ever get those just in nature.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine like a small Burmese python, which is one of the largest snakes, right? So
Yeah.
small Burmese python, but it's a rattler.
Yeah. With the massive head,
You just
bro.
like, yeah,
dude,
a
you're
massive
reminding
head
me-
like a gaboon snake, bro.
You're
But,
reminding
like, fat
me
like a gaboon, but
Oh
long.
my god, no. You're reminding me of a story from when I was a kid and my dad, and he worked construction, right? So he always had like people on his crew that were kind of like little crazy desert
Yeah,
people.
of course.
And this fool like lived in a trailer out in 3 Points, and he would capture rattlesnakes and keep them in terrariums in his house. And he got all fucked up one night and was like, "Oh, they're my friends," and picked the fucking rattlesnake up, and the bitch bit him, and he died.
Of
And I
course.
remember my dad telling me this story about how one of his crew members died because he got bit by a rattlesnake in his house. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Bro, like, what is you doing?
Why are you doing that?
Like, what are you doing?"
What the fuck,
Oh,
dude?
bro, like-
it's one thing to care for snakes, but just to get into like
I remember this dude. He looked
the
like Tom
rattlers,
Petty
dude.
too.
Oh, dude, I don't fuck with the rattlers.
Nah,
dude.
hell
they
no.
They strike fast and quick, dude.
I can't say too much because when I used to work at the Westward Look Resort up here, like all of the maintenance dudes that got all the snakes, they hated snakes, and one of them was like a Russian dude from like Moscow, and he was really cool, but like anytime there was snakes on the premises or they had to relocate them, I was always like, "Dude, let me know and I'll go help you
Yeah.
do it." And I would go and like I would take out the Gila monsters and I would take out the rattlesnakes and stuff like that. But one time there was this big, like I said, pit bull rattlesnake, and it was not very long, but it was thick. Like you said, it was thick, and his head was massive. And I remember I got a PVC pipe and I put a rope through it, and I just made one of them cinches. And immediately, as soon as I cinched down on this snake, it started whipping like so
Strong
crazy
as fuck, too.
to the point where I almost let go and said, "Fuck it." But luckily I didn't, and I just held on to it. But it was that ferocious. Like, it almost ripped the stick out of my hands, and then we would have been fucked because we would have had to try and pick the shit up. But like, there are no games with them shits.
Well, guys, let's end today on that one, and I'm gonna put a lesson out there: don't touch rattlesnakes.
Nah.
They I don't know if you know this, they bite, and they do that a lot.
Mm-hmm. They put stuff in you.
They put stuff in your butt. Okay, so be careful. Well, guys, thanks for listening to this episode. You know that we're always here BSing around, back for another one. We appreciate you guys always listening. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the little bell thing so you know when we're always posting up new podcasts. We try to do these weekly if we're adult about it, but sometimes we miss a week.
Yeah.
But, you know, S happens.
But we keep it moving.
But we're out here, baby. We're still here. So thanks for listening. You can personally check me out on Instagram at Superior Shrek, and my partner here at...
Yeah, Prolific Pappy. You know what it is. I love y'all. Thanks for listening. Zona, stay away from the Rona. And we out.